okay?
She will. It'll just take a few minutes.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Branch.
Hey
Good
there.
morning. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning, Miss
morning.
Branch.
Good morning. Morning, Miss Grant. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Freddie.
Hey.
Hey, Freddie.
Hey. Let me hurry up and get over here. Everybody doing okay?
Doing
Everybody's
okay.
okay, Freddie.
Hanging in
Okay.
there.
All right.
My phone cut.
Hello.
Hello.
This is
Hello.
Leticia.
Hey, Miss Arts.
How are you?
Melanie.
Oh, it's good to hear your voice.
Thank you. It's good to hear yours.
Melanie Flora Barnes.
Hi, Miss Barnes, Miss Palmer. I see you're here with us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
How's the boss man, Melanie?
He is running things. You gave him the right name.
Oh,
The boss man.
good
Hi, Miss
morning.
Henry.
Good morning.
Martinez.
Hi, Miss Martinez.
Good
Hey, Miss
morning, Miss
Watson.
Martinez.
Good morning.
My
Hi,
phone kicked me out
Melanie.
twice.
Good morning.
Morning. Melanie, you get me?
Yes, ma'am, Miss Gregor.
Okay. Okay.
Someone is on a Galaxy A1. Can you let us know who you are?
This is Beverly Tiggs. I am.
Oh, okay. Okay, Miss Tiggs.
Oh.
I'm going to change your name so we'll know that's you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Kelly.
How was your trip?
It was wonderful.
You didn't come,
Oh,
you didn't
I
come
didn't-
back with a bun in the oven, did you?
Oh, no, ma'am. Not at all.
Oh, no.
No,
Looking
ma'am.
good
good.
morning. I'm a Knighton.
Hi, Miss Knighton.
Okay, I'm gonna turn my phone on its side and see if that'll stop me from being kicked out.
Hmm?
Hello, Clara Patterson.
Oh, hi. Hi, Miss Patterson. And Miss Sister, Miss Patterson, what's your sister's name?
Betty Grant.
Miss Grant. There you go. How you doing, Miss Betty?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was having a minute trying to get in, I tell you.
Oh, have you?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's Betty.
Clara Patterson is the volunteer. That's her sister speaking to us. Hey, Miss Hamlet.
Good morning.
Mm.
Okay.
It's fine.
They know you're in. Oh. They know you're in. Your phone? Oh. What do you
Maybe I won't get kicked out again.
See, now I
'cause got
figured it out.
kicked out.
Y'all missed each other last time, so that's why everybody's talking.
Yeah, it's not gonna work. You might be trying. You ain't trying to do no Zoom, right? This other lady can't get in. The telephone won't let her get in.
Hey, Miss Williams, Miss Sarah Williams.
How you doing, huh? Miss May is trying to call the number. They won't let her phone won't let her get in.
Oh, Miss Purefoy.
Uh huh. right here.
Okay, we'll mark you down as being here, Miss Purefoy.
Purple.
Okay, I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay,
All right, honey. Thank you.
This is so what else do we have to do? This is Miss
Miss
Patterson's sister Betty.
just keep, she's just gonna stay on and listen for a while. We've got
Okay.
some updates and stuff. So you guys are
Okay.
in, you're good to go.
Okay, so we just stay on.
Yes, ma'am. So
Can you get
in a
through?
minute, Miss
Still
Betty, we're
going?
going, in a minute, we're going to
Put one
mute
sugar in
everybody.
now.
We're gonna
Yes,
mute
ma'am.
everybody, and then if you need to unmute, she may need to hit *6 on her phone if she has a question for anything, okay?
Okay, all right,
Okay.
that'll be great. Okay.
Just stay on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's my
Miss
phone.
Miss Sasser, are you here? Is that you on the fire tablet? Okay,
Yes.
all right,
Can you-
I'm gonna
Can you
change
hear
your
me?
name. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I ain't do nothing. No. Really, that don't make no sense. I don't
Be ready to get started here.
I don't know what. I was thinking maybe, but you see, it didn't do
Hi,
it.
Miss
though.
Martin.
Good morning.
They're gonna start the meeting in a minute. They're gonna start the meeting.
Hey, Mr. Jones.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I just chased Letitia. I just chased Letitia out this car. Yeah. Can't understand the thing. She done already got logged in. And I start running your mouth. I can't get logged in with you running your mouth.
Good morning.
Good
Hey, how you
morning.
doing?
Hi, this is Miss Johnson. Mary A. Johnson.
Hey, Miss Johnson. How are you?
I'm great, sweetie. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Wonderful. How's our baby?
And y'all, he is 3 and got a whole bunch of talking to do. He talks so much.
Oh, my.
He has a lot to say.
That's
Hi,
good.
Mary. Hi, Mary. Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm okay. Leave Geraldine alone. Leave Geraldine alone.
I mess with Geraldine.
Leave her alone.
She done put me off the table.
Uh-oh.
Ain't gonna cut the leg off.
What's your protection
Gerald,
tonight?
we don't need her, Mary. We don't need her. She's a traitor. She's a traitor with Dorothy. So we're getting rid of the traitors.
Uh-oh.
Now, see, I am being quiet. See, you told me to be quiet.
Saying nothing.
But you got me in trouble.
Okay. Got you in trouble with Dorothy, huh?
Yes.
Hi, Miss Brooks and Miss Goodwin.
Hello. Good morning. How's
Good morning.
Good morning.
One and all. Melanie, how was your trip?
It was beautiful. I have some pictures to share with y'all at the end.
Oh, great.
Wow. I gotta get back. I hope I can get back on Zoom so I can see them.
If you're on the phone, don't worry. We'll send out the link to the YouTube video. You can go watch it later if you want to see the pictures.
Oh, God. Do that.
That's neat. Yeah.
Hi, Miss Holmes. Miss Matthews.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We're gonna get started in just a few minutes, okay, everybody?
Great.
Okay.
I'm here this morning.
You got the right something there.
They're gonna have a meeting.
Hi, Miss Roberts.
Hello. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Wonderful.
Do you hear that? Do you hear them? Do you hear them?
I can't hear you.
We hear you.
This is Patricia Blewett.
Hi, Miss Blewett.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Blewett.
Good morning.
Now, I noticed some of y'all who normally dial in on Zoom are calling in on your phone. Y'all didn't want us to see your beautiful faces today?
Not mine. I didn't get to put my wig on.
Ah, that's too cute. Good morning. And this is Patricia. I'm just eating breakfast. I'm hungry.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Miss Ruby
Hi,
Williams.
this is Miss Purifoy.
Hi, Miss Beautiful. Miss Blewett, I'm sitting here eating a bagel right now.
Thank you.
Good morning, Patricia Cornell.
Hi, Miss Cornell.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
Yes.
Don't touch nothing. Don't touch nothing.
All right. You ready to get started, Melissa?
Yes. It took a lot to get in. I got it. Got from under the tree, I guess. I don't know when you touched it. I got it.
All right. Well, one thing about getting in is that if we are not on, you're not able to get on. So we usually try to get on 15 minutes before.
Okay.
So if you're trying to get in like at 9:30 or just earlier, it won't let you in.
No, it won't.
So just wanted to let you know that.
Someone is listed as Pam Parker. I'm not sure who that is. You just turned, okay, you turning your camera on again. The name says Pam Parker. And I can't see your face, so I don't know who you are.
Oh, Miss Perkins was trying to get in.
That doesn't look like Miss Perkins.
All right, ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody.
Well, hold on, Melissa, because
okay, sure.
I want to see who Pam Parker is. I'm trying to get them to respond, but it looks like they're touching their screen just so I can get their name typed in.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Where did they go? Did she? Oh, there she's connected to audio. Nah, it's not connected. And I can't see her face.
That's not Miss Brooks, is it?
Miss who?
Miss Brooks, is it? I'm just going.
No, I don't think it's Miss Brooks is on the phone. Miss Brooks, are you still on the phone with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, we might have to come back because it doesn't look like their audio is connected. So we might have to come back to them so they can't hear me right now asking.
I'm going to mute everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just remember that you need to unmute yourself when you're ready to ask a question or anything like that. All right, everybody, I don't know how that line got there, but just want to tell you, we missed you last time. We were kind of busy, so we just want to make sure we are happy to see you again. So just wanted to let you know that. We will get started. Constance, is your gentleman on that? We'll get started when he gets on, but let me just say happy birthdays. We actually have a birthday today. Miss McAfee's birthday today, July 22nd, but this month we had Miss Goff. The 14th, we had Miss Matthews. The 19th, we had Miss Webb. The 20th, we had Miss Cornell. And today, Miss McAfee. And then next week, Miss Artie Giles. So just want to tell you happy birthday to everybody there for our July birthdays.
Happy birthday, Miss McAfee. You're muted. Oh no, maybe you're not muted. But happy birthday today.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
we only had one anniversary this month, and that was Miss Brooks on the 8th. So happy anniversary to you.
Can I tell y'all a little story about why Miss Brooks is the only one in July?
Go for it.
So Miss Brooks came in and we didn't have a class scheduled, I think for another month. Or I don't even know if we had it on the date, but when I met Miss Brooks and talked to her, I was like, oh, I don't want to lose her. She'd be a great companion. So Miss Brooks did her training one-on-one with me.
There you go. That's dedication. Well, thank you, Ms. Brooks, for being coming in and doing that training. We really do appreciate you and everybody else that's come in. We do have the Sunshine Committee. We've been gone for almost 17 months, and so we are glad to have the Sunshine Committee coming back in. Miss Mabry wasn't on, was she?
No, not yet.
Okay, so let me just introduce the committee members, and if you are able to unmute yourself, just say hi to everybody. But our committee members is the president, Ms. Verda Mabry. Our vice president is Ms. Ava Smith. Our secretary is Maxine Goodwin. Our treasurer is Ms. Jean Jackson. And then we're going to have carrying callers. And what they're going to do is basically just call and see how you're doing, making sure, you know, if you need anything, kind of a prayer line also if you need something. Or so that's going to be Ms. Anderson, Ms. Dorothy Jones, and Ms. Annie Robertson. They'll be calling. So if you hear from one of these ladies, don't be shocked. They're just calling to make sure you're okay. So that's what the homebound means. It's basically just making sure everybody's okay. So if you get a call from them, don't be shocked. Also, our Sunshine Committee has graciously taken over our weekly cafes. And so they will be hosting our weekly cafes. Instead of doing weekly cafes, we're going to be going to bi-weekly cafes. And so that's going to be the first and the third Friday. So it's going to be opposite of our in-services. So it's going to be from 10 to 11, same time. We'll just be doing it opposite of in-services. So it's going to be the first and third Fridays of the month.
Do you all know what the coffee cafes are? I know most of the folks who've been Zoom trained do, but those of you on the phone, are you familiar with what the coffee cafes are?
No.
Okay, well, before I answer that, Ms. Kelly, I see your hand is raised. Did you have a question?
Yeah, do you see me? You got me?
I do, yes, we've got you on here.
I had a little trouble getting in there.
Okay, yes, we've got you in here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So, Ms. Ars, you said no, and I'm sure there's some others who may be muted. If you were on the phone, we muted everybody. So if you have a question or a comment, in order to speak up for us to hear you, you have to hit *6 on your phone. But the coffee cafes are just a time for you all to get on and chat with one another. You know, normally during in-service, if you get here early enough, you've got time to go around and talk and see how people are doing and what's been going on in their lives. And because we haven't had in-service for a while, you all haven't been able to talk with one another as much, especially those who you may not keep in contact with regularly. So it's just a time and a space for you all to jump on Zoom like we are on today, but there's no agenda, or sometimes there may be topics that are discussed, but it's just a way for you all to get on and chat with one another and catch up and see how everyone's doing. So if you have not joined, we would encourage you all to join. Like Melissa said, it'll be the first and third Fridays of the month from 10 to 11. And you can just dial in just like you did today and see who's on the line and catch up with them and see what's going on with them.
And the topics vary. So everybody has a different topic. Everybody just kind of just sharing so that we keep that companionship going with everybody. So again, just jump on. It's different conversations all the time. All right. So again, I just want to thank all the committee members for the Sunshine Committee to continue doing this. You will start seeing in the newsletter a little page for them as well. So I just want to say again, thank you for them stepping up for being part of this committee.
Thank you, Sunshine Committee members.
So our presenter should be on just a little bit, but I just want to kind of show this quick video. It's basically the month is making sure that you take care of your skin and making sure that we know that we should be wearing a sunblock, even though the sun may be out. But let me just play this video for you. It's probably gonna have ads, and I apologize. Well, there's some jeans everybody might need.
Melissa, the audio is
Video?
muted.
Okay. Yeah, no, I have it muted. I have
Okay.
it muted, so I didn't want to play a video. Okay.
We can't hear anything.
You can't?
No.
You can't hear me? She
I
said
can
I was
hear-
on mute.
No, I can hear you, Miss Johnson.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say I heard you and I didn't hear you about the Fridays. Which Friday was that?
It's the
Oh, my
first.
God.
It's the first and third Friday.
First and third. Okay.
Melissa, will you pause the video really quickly?
Sure.
So, Miss Johnson, it's the first and third Friday. And typically, do you receive the text messages?
Yes.
Okay, so typically there will be a text message to remind you about the coffee cafes, and it'll. But it's this. Melissa, is it the same number they dial in? I believe so.
Yes, everything's
it's
the same.
It's the same number you dialed in for today. You will call in from 10 to 11. You don't have to stay the whole time. You can come in just for a few minutes, but it's just a space for you all to just catch up and hear how everyone's doing.
Oh, okay. I want to say Annie reached out to me. I think it was yesterday. We had a long talk. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's
Annie
good.
Roberts.
That's good.
The first and the third. Okay, Billy, thank you. I got that.
Okay.
Okay, let me play this quick video. I think our presenter should be on here soon.
I gotta try Zoom next time.
Important to apply sunblock when outside, especially for long hours, whether it's cloudy or clear. But what about sun's intensity? Can you actually sunburn faster on a cloudy day? CBS 19's Jen Moynihan verified and has your answer.
It started with a question from a CBS 19 viewer. Roland writes, I've always heard you'll sunburn faster on cloudy days than on sunny days. I think it's just that you don't feel like you're burning because you don't feel the heat as much. Please verify. So we did some research and talked to a board-certified dermatologist to find out, can you actually sunburn faster on a cloudy day? Here's what our expert had to say.
So I think with sun exposure, people get fooled when it's cloudy, that they assume that if the sun's not out, you don't see it as a bright day, that you can't get enough sun exposure to cause a sunburn.
Dr. Stalling says the confusion comes into play with the cloud cover.
That's where the misconception is, that during cloudy days, you can still get enough sun exposure that you are getting damage to the surface of the skin, and that's exactly what a sunburn is.
According to the Skin Cancer Foundation, up to 80% of the sun's rays can pass through the clouds. That's why you can end up with a serious sunburn if you spend too much time outside without sunblock. When it comes to how quickly you can sunburn, well,
It's not necessarily that you're getting burned faster. It's just that you're getting a persistent exposure. And you actually can get sun exposure all day, even with transient movement in and out from the house to the car.
So that's false. Whether it's cloudy or clear, it has no effect on how fast you can get a sunburn. And of course, Dr. Stalling says the best protection is prevention.
If you're using sunscreen on sun-exposed areas, it cuts back on your risk of melanoma by about 50%. And honestly, jeans have an SPF of 100. So that's not always something you can do when it's really hot out, but clothing can protect you as well. We just have to make sure we're diligent about those areas that are still exposed to the sun.
Thank you, Jen. If you have
All
something
right,
that you
ladies, I just wanted to kind of show you that, you know, that we still need to use sun protection even when it's hot, cloudy outside. All right. So I will turn it over to Constance.
All right, good morning, everybody. I want to
Good morning.
be talking to our presenter is
morning.
Daniel. Can you guys hear me? Okay, our presenter
Yes, I
today
do.
is Mr. Daniel Armbruster. He's corporate spokesperson, the community relations person for AAA, and he's going to be talking about keeping the keys.
Good morning.
Program. I think some of you went through this program before, and we got some good feedback, so we wanted to have them come and talk to you guys about it. So I'll let him take over. Mr. Armbruster, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Constance. Good morning, everyone. And I'm with AAA Texas, and we're here to talk about some tips and safe driving as we mature. And of course, there's many ways that we can do that. So let me just load my, share my screen here so that you can see that. Oh, that's disabled. Okay. So one of the first things we'll talk about is our agenda today, and that is going to be aging's effect on driving and what that means. You know, rather our goal today will be to provide all the resources you need to continue to drive safely, maintain your mobility, and enhance your quality of life. We're going to accomplish this, of course, by discussing how our driving abilities change as we age and ways that we can compensate for those changes to minimize the risk. We're going to become more familiar with AAA's full range of resources designed to help you with this. And then, of course, plan for what lays ahead. And I apologize there. There's our agenda today. Let's talk about what this is not about, though. This is not about should you or should not, should be driving or should not be driving, whether that is, we won't be talking about that. It won't be about how to stop driving or how to give up your keys, and it certainly won't be about beginning drivers, and it won't be specifically about driving techniques. So one thing that we look at is the number of older drivers. It looks like our slides here got out of place. The number of older drivers is expected to dramatically increase over the next few years. In fact, when we look at that, we know that older adults are the fastest growing population, and that's true for many parts of the world, not just here in the US. But that, of course, means that more older adult drivers will be on the roadways, and there are implications for this trend in terms of safety and mobility. So you may have heard people use the term silver tsunami. Well, every day for the next several years, 10,000 people will turn 65. And of course, that's a lot of people. According to the FHA, there will be 77% increase among drivers over the age of 65 by 2045. By 2025, a quarter of the population will be 65 years of age and over. And 80% of people now expect to work beyond the traditional retirement age is one of the reasons that we're seeing this.
Daniel, can I interrupt? Are we supposed to be seeing your presentation?
Yes, can you not see it here?
No, we see you.
Oh, I am so sorry. Okay, well, let's fix that. It won't let me share the screen. Oh, now it will. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, I apologize for that.
It's okay.
Okay, so we were about right here. Still learning some lessons here in this virtual world that we live in. Okay, let me just move this over. Can you see the PowerPoint, or do you see everything here?
We see everything.
You see everything? Okay.
Yes.
I apologize. Let's see here. There we go.
There we
Okay.
go.
Okay, I think we're on the right track now. So as we've been talking about, the number of people over the age of 65 will dramatically increase in the next few years. When we look at miles driven, by drivers 65 and older, you can see over time that those miles have really gone up. And one of the reasons for that, as we talked about, is people are working longer past the traditional retirement age, past 65 years old. Both of my parents, for instance, they're 65 years old and they have no plans to retire, at least in the next year. So, this is a common trend that we're seeing across the country. So we have a quiz here, and think about this for a second. True or false? There is a specific age after which no one can drive safely. Is that true or false?
True.
So actually, the answer there is false. There's not a specific age after which no one can drive safely. One of the great things about being a mature driver is that you have more experience. And we know from studies that experience is the most important factor when it comes to being a safe driver. That's why we see teen drivers are the most high-risk drivers on the roadway, simply because they do not have the experience that drivers, who've been around for a longer time have. As we get older, we know to avoid bad weather, avoid driving at times when we don't feel comfortable, such as maybe at night, and then also avoiding high traffic and speed. Also, seniors have a lower crash rate than most age categories. So everyone experiences age-based changes, and changes vary from person to person. So that's why we really don't say that there's a specific age. My grandmother is 88 years old and she still drives every single day of the week, and she's a great driver with a great driving record. And there are people that are younger than her that have already stopped driving. And it's based on each person's skills and how comfortable they feel when they're behind the wheel. So age is not a factor when it comes to can someone drive, but it of course can become a factor in the sense of how comfortable are they behind the wheel. Do they need extra items maybe to help them get in the vehicle, feel comfortable when they're driving? But certainly anyone at any age, as long as they feel comfortable and safe driving, should be able to drive. So here's some of aging's effects on driving, and that's what we'll talk about now. What are some of the natural ways that we change? When we think about our bodies over time, of course, there can be changes in vision. There can be changes in light sensitivity to the sun. It may be harder to see at night. There could be mobility changes, such as osteoporosis or arthritis. And so those are some things that we think about as we age. And so, as we said, visual changes, physical changes, and then the cognitive changes. Sometimes we can have trouble remembering things. Sometimes we may not be able to think as clearly, but that doesn't happen to everyone. And again, that's why it's important to know that age is not a determining factor in whether someone can drive or not. So taking a closer look now, vision and perception are very important. Certainly, if you need to be able to see the signs, you need to be able to see the lane markers, you need to be able to know what's ahead of you and what's around you as well, and being able to determine if there's any slight change in the field of your vision around you. So such as if a car is at a stop sign, is that car going to pull out? Was that car there a moment ago? Those are things that can change and with our vision. So taking a closer look now at vision and perception, Here's a chart to kind of illustrate this for you. This is 20, 40, 60, and 80. So this is kind of, you can see as it gets older, this is why it's harder for some people to drive at night. These are the ages and how that light comes into our eye as we get older. So at 20, you can see it's pretty bright. At 40, it still remains bright. But as we get into our 60s, it can, the light that our eyes take in can become dimmer. And so that's why it can be harder to drive or see at night. So another item here on vision and perception is just taking a look at the physical changes now. So we talked about the vision and perception and how those can change, but let's talk about physical changes that occur in the body. So strength for one, certainly, you know, our mobility, our muscles deteriorate as we age. And that's why it's always good to keep trying to lift light items and do lightweight workouts, or maybe in a pool to keep your muscle strength up. Of course, that's not possible for everyone, depending on certain factors in their own life. Range of motion. Your shoulders, of course, are an area that we use for driving to help our arms steer the wheel, to look over our back, our shoulders. All of those things over time become tighter, they become weaker, and so it can be more difficult to get in and out of a vehicle, as well as extend to look around and see maybe if there's a vehicle in the lane next to you. And so certainly that's something to think about when you're getting ready to get in the car, or as you age, things that you may need to focus on or improve on so that you can still continue to drive if you want to drive. Flexibility also, you know, important as well. And when we think about flexibility, of course, stretching can help. When you talk to occupational therapists, they will tell you that a lot of times, you know, stretching exercises can be really good for anyone at any age, certainly. But certainly as we get older, that flexibility goes away. Our muscles are tighter. And so it can be harder to just move and extend our legs, maybe, such as pressing from the gas or the accelerator over to the brake. That can be difficult and become more difficult as we age, as well as just simply turning the wheel and getting our arms moving. Balance is also very important when we think about driving at any age, but certainly as we get older, balance can be affected by multiple things. And so it's important to know and take a closer look at these four key things: strength, range of motion, flexibility, and balance, when we're considering how our physical changes that can impact driving, as well as hand-eye coordination. And it looks like someone raised their hand. I'm getting a message in my window.
I did. 180
Okay.
Kelly.
Yes.
I see you have all these physical changes, but it don't have to be, but isn't there such a thing as reaction fraction?
Reaction fraction?
The amount of time it takes you to react to something that's happening.
Yeah, so that's kind of in the cognitive effects that we'll talk about in a minute. And so certainly, you know, there are some people who that over time is impaired or impacted by just age and natural aging.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, let's talk about those cognitive changes now. Of course, our brains are pretty much the most important organ we have in the body. And over time, certain systems in the brain change as we age, and that can lead to delayed reaction times, of course. It can lead to memory loss. It can lead to all sorts of things. But that doesn't happen with everyone, and it happens at different rates. And that's important to note. And again, that's why age is not necessarily the key factor that we look at with whether or not someone's able to drive. So finished fouls are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of many here. So we're doing an exercise here, and we want to look at how many F's are in this sentence here. When we look at finished files are the result of years of scientific study combined with the experience of many, what we're trying to do is determine if you can see how many F's are in this sentence, and remember that.
I can't see the sentence.
I'm sorry, I took it off. Let me put it back up there for you for just a second.
Goodness, it's so huge.
So let's look at it again, but highlight this, and you can see here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 F's. So just seeing and remembering is really something that, as we were talking about, reaction time, memory, those things can be impacted by as we age, our cognition. So let's talk about crash aspects and factors and the top 5 types of crashes that occur in older drivers. And this information is from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA. And they're one of the key organizations that most traffic safety experts refer to when you're talking about federal data and crash rates. So turning left at intersections is number 1. A tip there, make sure that you can see far enough to identify any approaching vehicles and only start turning when the road is clear. But this again is the number 1 type of crash that we see in older drivers. Turning right at a yield sign and merging with traffic. And again, these are crashes that we see in all age categories, but specifically, these are crashes we might see in drivers 65 and older. So a tip there, stay alert to the vehicles ahead of you and the possibility that they may stop suddenly. So you're at a yield sign, you're getting ready to merge into that traffic, and the car in front of you has suddenly stopped instead of they keep going. And so a lot of times a driver will look over their shoulder, and while they're looking over their shoulder, that car ahead has stopped, and then you have a collision. Turning left at a stop sign and then cross traffic does not stop. A lot of times there may be a 4-way stop where everyone has to stop, and then sometimes, or in this situation, there's only a stop sign for your side, a T section. And so it looks like that van should be stopping, but actually they don't have a stop sign. So that, of course, can be a little tricky. So you want to take your time, look in all directions more than once, and then, of course, don't turn around until everything is safe, or don't turn, excuse me, until you're certain it's safe too. Changing lanes on busy multi-lane roadways. Again, this is something we see in all age categories, but it's something that we see commonly in 65 and older. So starting lane changes as early as possible and avoid having to change lanes at the last second. That's a really important thing to think about. And finally, merging onto the highway. Use the length of the merge lane to accelerate up to the speeds of traffic already on the highway. These are just tips. Most of you probably know that, but these are common things that as we age, we may have more trouble doing. And a lot of these, if you notice, they have in common, it's merging with traffic or going into another lane where a driver may already be present. So again, they occur at intersections involving right-of-ways or turning or merging are kind of the common elements that we see in those top 5 crash types. So true or false, there are actions that older drivers can take to help extend their safe driving careers.
True.
Yes, that sounded pretty unanimous there. So that is true. So you can extend safe driving career by doing the following: just adjusting your driving habits, identify diminishing abilities. So it just kind of self-awareness. If you notice that maybe you have a more difficult time seeing at night, that's just something to realize. Maybe you avoid driving at night. Maybe you talk to your doctor, your eye doctor, your optometrist about that, and see if there's something they can do. But just being aware of it is really important, and knowing how to adjust. And then determining the right time to make adjustments. That depends and varies, of course, from person to person. If you look over on the right, you see a chart that says older adult drivers who tend to avoid driving under specific conditions by gender, and it breaks it up at women and men. And then we see at night, of course, women are more cautious in bad weather. They're more cautious at night and more cautious on the highways, as well as on long trips and even in heavy traffic. And we know that in younger drivers as well, teen drivers, women tend to take less risk when it comes to driving based on their abilities. So talking about some resources that are out there for mature drivers, evaluating your driving ability online, you can find this through AAA at seniordriving.aaa.com. You can take the questionnaire. You can access the RoadWise Driver online program. It's a great program that kind of helps you gauge where your abilities are. And then smart features, learning about newer vehicle safety features. If you've purchased a new vehicle in the last 5 years, they're nothing like the vehicles we had prior, just because of all the new technology, which can be confusing. Certainly, there's a lot of gadgets and sensors and new safety features that are intended to help a driver with safety, such as backup cameras, automatic braking. Those things are great. They reduce crash risk, but they also can cause distractions, and they can also be intimidating. So it's important to understand those features. So we have a book on that called Smart Features. And then also just keeping your mind and body fit. We have tips for maintaining physical and mental strength, such as stretching, exercising, and doing even mental exercise, such as yoga or just making your brain relax and do some meditation. And also learning about alternative transportation options. There's a lot of options out there, especially in larger metro areas like Dallas, Fort Worth. So we have all of that. Again, it's at seniordriving.aaa.com. So another question for you: a driver affected by a prescribed medication can be charged with impaired driving, DWI, DUI, etc.
True.
Yes, that is true. In the state of Texas, even if it's a prescribed medication or over-the-counter medication, if it impairs your driving, you can be charged with a DWI or a DUI. So here's intoxication's definition in the state of Texas, the Penal Code. It's not having the normal use of mental or physical faculties by reason of the introduction of alcohol, a controlled substance, a drug, a dangerous drug, a combination of two or more of those substances, or any other substance in the body. So it could also be having a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or more. And that's how it's defined by the law in Texas, for the legislature. So let's talk about some driving knowledge in your vehicle. How much do you know here? So vehicles equipped with anti-lock brakes or ABS can stop in shorter distances than vehicles without ABS. that true or false?
True. True.
So it is true. Actually, I'm sorry, it is false. No, it is false. What we see here is that anti-lock brakes are great when the roads are wet. They prevent your brakes from locking up, but they actually don't really cause your vehicle to stop in shorter distances.
Oh, really?
You have the right of way if you are the first to arrive at an intersection. True or false?
True.
True.
So it's false. In Texas, it is true in certain circumstances, such as if you're at a stop sign and the person to the right of you gets there at the same time. You're at a four-way stop and the person to your right gets to the stop sign at the same time. In Texas, they have the right of way. But if you were to both get at an intersection, it depends on the different, how the intersection's set up. If it's a traffic light, if it's a stop sign, if the lights are blinking, are they steady lights, etc. Another great organization that AAA partners with, and as well as AARP and the American Occupational Therapy Association, AOTA, is CarFit. How many of you have heard of CarFit?
No.
Oh, y'all haven't heard of CarFit. Okay, this is great because CarFit is a really great nonprofit organization that works to help extend the driving safety for older drivers. Some of the things that they focus on is the distance to the steering wheel and the pedals. Oftentimes what will happen is you know, as we age, we get taller, and then we kind of we can get a little, our height can actually go down a little bit as we get older. And so sometimes you need a seat height adjustment, but it also affects your distance to the steering wheel and pedals, which can impact the airbag's ability to keep you safe in a crash. It also can affect your seatbelt and where the seatbelt is, and the height of head restraints is very important as well. So these are things you pull up. They do a quick inspection of all of these items and many more to determine if you're in the vehicle and you're comfortable, but not only are you comfortable, but where you are sitting in the vehicle, are you safe as well? So the distance from your steering wheel and pedals needs to be at least 10 inches. And do y'all know why it needs to be 10 inches for the steering wheel?
Is it airbag related?
It is airbag related, yeah. So if you're less than 10 inches from the airbag and that airbag were to go off in your face, it could cause severe injuries in your face, because a lot of times we think about that coming out like a nice little puffy cloud that you know, we can just has some air and it's going to protect us. No, that thing comes out at over 200 miles an hour, and it can really cause damage if it's too close to your face. So you want to put at least 10 inches between you and the steering wheel. And CarFit, when you go through a CarFit clinic, they measure that. It's free to go through the clinic, by the way. There's no cost. And also, and I can, afterwards, if y'all want, I can talk to you more about how to set up a CarFit clinic that could actually come to your residence or organization. So seat height adjustment, you want to be 3 inches over the steering wheel. And again, that's because of the airbag. You want the steering wheel pointed more towards your chest than you do at your face. And that's, again, because of the speed that airbag comes out and the damage it could cause if it were to strike your face too close. Height of head restraints is really important. Do y'all know why that is?
Sorry, Daniel. Ms. McAfee, your Zoom keeps unmuting and we can hear your background. So if you could stay muted until the presentation is over, that would be great.
So the height of head restraints is really important, and you want it mid-ear level. And that's because if you're involved in a rear end crash, the whiplash that can occur, of course, your head restraint is there to protect you from that whiplash. And if your head restraint is not in the proper place, that can cause neck and back injuries. So something to really think about. And again, that's from CarFit, and they're one of our traffic safety partners here in Texas and across the US. And we can talk more about a CarFit session for anyone on the call later today at the end of the call. Another quiz. Today's older drivers can expect to drive safely for the full duration of their lives. True or false?
True.
It is true. Yes. So actually, given, that of course won't be the case for everyone, but for many older drivers, you can expect to drive safely for the full duration of your life, as long as you're able to adapt and make certain changes that makes you feel comfortable and safe behind the wheel. So let's talk about life expectancy versus driving expectancy. And this information is from the National Institutes of Health. So life expectancy versus driving expectancy. Some of us don't have the expectancy that we'll be able to drive for very long. However, we know that as we age, we may need to drive longer than what we expected. And so that's going to be something we'll talk about here. We are healthier and living longer than ever before, and we're outliving our ability to drive safely by an average of males, 7 years, females, 10 years. So the life expectancy and driving expectancy don't always match up, but if you're able to, of course, adapt and make changes and you feel safe and comfortable, and those things are so important, it's your own ability to feel safe and comfortable as the driver that determines that. People ages 70 to 74 were expected to drive another 11 years, but were expected to live even longer, around 17 to 20 years. And people age 85 who are still driving expected to drive another 2 years, but are expected to live 4 to 6. So here we go. We know that mobility is important when it comes to driving, and that's at any age, but certainly for those of us who are 65 and older. Limited contact with family and friends increases the risk of depression. So it's important, of course, to stay vital. It's important to stay in touch with those you love and care about. All of those things can contribute to your driving ability as well. Adjustments can be made to help you stay in the vehicle longer if you feel safe and comfortable. And then planning ahead can really pay off. So being self-aware again, knowing your abilities, knowing if you can drive at night, knowing if you're able to see well, if you're flexible, those types of things. If you start to see that you're experiencing a delay or some sort of issue, then it's good to start thinking about it now if you want to continue driving. And again, the benefits of planning ahead include also retaining more control over your driving decisions, increasing those mobility options, just an overall enhanced quality of life. But if we don't plan, others can gain more control over our decisions about their driving. They can, of course, if you don't plan ahead, it can decrease mobility options, reduce social connections, and reduce quality of life. So it's really important to think about all of those things, but know that each individual is going to be different, and that's something also to keep in mind. Now, driving a medium-sized sedan will cost you on average about $8,800 a year. Comes out to about $740 every month, or $185 each week. So it's not cheap to drive, but, and so, of course, there are alternatives to driving, but the one thing about driving, of course, is that it gives us more freedom. And of course, as Americans, most of us love that individual freedom. So some devices that can lead you to resources, to adaptive vehicle devices designed for in-car. You could use hand controls. There's pedal extenders if you have trouble reaching the pedal. There's special mirrors that you can put on your outside mirrors that can help you see, such as if you're trying to change lanes, these mirrors can help you see the next lane over and magnify that as well. And then specially designed foam cushions that can help you overcome specific issues, such as if you're trying to see over the steering wheel, but you also need to be closer to touch the pedal. That can alleviate some of that as well. And those those are things that you can purchase at Walmart. You can purchase them online from Amazon. They're very easy to find and usually pretty inexpensive. But what we do want to stress is not to fix the position issues with things you have at home, such as a pillow, wooden blocks. I'm a car fit instructor myself and a technician, and I have seen all sorts of items that people will try to sit on phone books to get a little bit higher up over the wheel. And so certainly those can slide and they can be dangerous. Those specially designed foam cushions are designed so that they don't slide and you don't have to worry about that while you're driving. So anyone looking to add adaptive vehicle devices to their vehicle need to work with a trained professional. Usually we recommend an occupational therapist to receive a driving assessment. Usually during car fit events, there are occupational therapists on site, and those occupational therapists, of course, can recommend equipment and training by a certified driver rehabilitative specialist if necessary. Let's talk about alternative transportation. Of course, there's carpooling. That's, of course, just sharing a ride with a friend or a neighbor. And it helps you if you need to limit or stop driving. And it's also very cost effective, of course, and great for the environment because you have one car instead of two on the road. Public transportation, when available, city buses, trams, and subway systems are great ways to get around. Here in Dallas, it's improved a lot over the last 15 years, the public transportation system, but it still has some more room for improvement, certainly. So consider helping, if you've never taken public transportation before, it's good to have somebody that can help you that's been there or understands, maybe a loved one with a comfort level. And it also takes a little time, of course, to prepare, and they're on a schedule, so you have to go on their schedule. There's also, of course, taxi, or many of you probably heard of Uber or Lyft. Those are, of course, transportation services where you can use those ride sharing services and as well. And of course, you can benefit from using those because they're usually low cost, community-based transportation services. And there's also just senior transportation services that might be able to help as well, or special services out there for those with disabilities. And I know DART has a program for that as well. So consider getting a comprehensive driving skills evaluation or a clinical driving assessment if you're concerned about that your driving skills may have diminished over time. If you have concerns regarding results of informal self-assessment tools, such as the one on senior driving on AAA.com. If you've been diagnosed with a medical condition that could impact your driving ability, such as impaired vision, dementia, diabetes, seizures, sleep disorders, stroke, etc., it's good to then get a comprehensive driving skills evaluation. If you've experienced a recent increase in near misses or mirror crashes, maybe fender benders, or sometimes backing out of the driveway, there might be an object that you hit regularly, or that you've got. You can have friends or family have suggestions as well. Maybe have them walk around your vehicle, see if they notice any dings or dents, all of that, just to help make sure that everything's still going smoothly. So there's the clinical assessment, and I'm going to take a sip of water here 1 second. I'm sorry. Occupational therapists, driving rehabilitation specialists, they plan, develop, coordinate, and implement driving services for people with disabilities or have one or more medical conditions that could impact their driving. So the clinical driving assessments are best if you have a broad spectrum of physical and cognitive disabilities, including dementia, stroke, arthritis, low vision, learning disabilities, limb amputations, neuromuscular disorders, spinal cord injuries, mental health problems, cardiovascular diseases, and other causes of functional deficits. So type 2, the driving skills evaluation. DSEs are trained, licensed, and certified by states to offer driver training. So driving skills evaluators, what they do is they conduct evaluations that'll help you identify any of those weaknesses and help you determine if you need more training that can help reduce your driving risk. And it's really, it's really good to always ask your doctor if you have any questions as well. But evaluations are best in that area if you're concerned about any of those skills that may have diminished, if you were recommended to take a driving skills evaluation by a physician, an occupational therapist, or a family member. And then, of course, you may benefit from supplemental in-car training. So that's our program or our presentation here. But if you have any questions or if you want to talk more about CarFit, I am here for you.
Daniel, I did have a question.
Okay.
On the clinical driving assessment, how do you go about doing that? Who does that?
So there's several different organizations, and if you go to the seniordriving.aaa.com, you should be able to find the resources there that can help you. If it's not listed there, and I haven't checked lately because they did just change the website, I'll be happy to look into it and see if we can find that out for you.
Okay, great. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. You said we can get in contact with you that after your presentation so that you can present us with the information for that other car program that you mentioned that didn't know nothing about.
Yes, ma'am. So do y'all prefer email or phone? Or if you want, Constance, maybe we can link up and kind of that way everybody gets the same information at the same time.
Yeah, that would be fine. You can send it to me and we can get it to them.
Okay.
Daniel, is there a flyer with contact information about that program that you could share?
There is, yes.
Okay.
And I'll share that with Constance as well.
Perfect.
So CarFit is, again, it's a nonprofit organization. We have one here in Texas, and most states have a locally based one. They did experience some financial hardship during the pandemic. And so I know that some of the program has been pulled back a little bit temporarily, but I'm thinking now that we're halfway through 2021, they'll either be back soon or they should start coming back soon.
Thank you. We'll be happy to include that in one of our newsletters that we send out to the volunteers.
Awesome. Okay.
Does anybody else have questions? If you're on the phone, remember *6 to unmute your line so you can ask Daniel questions while he's here with us. Miss Kelly, Juanita Kelly, I see your hand is raised.
I have a question, and it may not have anything to do with anybody, but since he's AAA, he knows something about insurance. Why is insurance so high for seniors that have never had an accident, no DUIs, no DWIs, no none of that other stuff, pay on time, never had it canceled? Answer that question, please.
Yes, ma'am. So do you have AAA insurance or do you have a different carrier?
I just switched to the Hartford.
The Hartford, okay. So it really varies each, there used to be just a smaller group of insurance companies, and now through technology that's really exploded. But, and so you have a lot of different insurance companies, and they're going to base their rates, their premiums on different things. Some of them go off of a credit score. Some of them go off of your driving records. Some of them go off of where you live, the type of vehicle you drive, your driving record. I know with AAA, we have ways that you can save, such as if you have a mobile phone and you download the AAA mobile app and you use our program that records your driving habits for 6 months. If they see that you're a good driver, then you get a rate reduction as well. So there's different ways to save, but it's going to vary between different companies. I'm right there with you. So I understand. I have a perfect driving record, no incidents, no accidents, and my rates just went up as well. So it can vary between insurance companies because of their methodology, but yeah, I understand the frustration for sure.
You're young and you're a
Correct,
male,
yeah.
that thing still holds, right, with the insurance company when you're young and you're male?
I'm 37, so young, yes, but
Believe me, you're young.
yes, ma'am. After 24, the rate is actually supposed to go down because your crash risk goes down, right? That's not true for all drivers, though. And again, that comes down to the methodology of how the insurance company determines those rates, and it varies from company to company.
Well, did Texas tell the insurance companies that they could raise the amount that you pay for? Is that because somebody I was talking to, I don't know, I could have been paying a bill because every time I talk to somebody, I ask them who they insured with, because I keep seeing these things on TV. Hypothetical, $35 for some insurance if you're older and you got a good record and all this kind of stuff, but I can't find the insurance company. I don't think I would want one for $35. But I was talking to this guy, his insurance was cheaper than mine, and he was a male. He was with the same company. That's what I couldn't understand. And I don't care. Allstate.
Yeah.
Miss Kelly, I think you're bringing up some really great points, but I don't know that Daniel's going to be able to give you the answer you're looking for about insurance premiums across the state. So I get your frustration, but I do want to make sure, because we've got a limited amount of time, that if anybody has any further questions about the presentation that Daniel gave, I want to give them an opportunity to ask that as well.
Good enough.
All right, hearing none. Daniel, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you joining us this morning.
You bet. Thank you so much for having me. I will say, just to add on to what one other thing is that the Texas Department of Insurance regulates all the insurance companies in Texas. So if you do have a complaint or you feel like something's not right, you can contact the Texas Department of Insurance and let them know about it.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Great job, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you all, and sorry for being late. I had the wrong time on my calendar, and that was my fault. So I apologize.
No worries.
No, you're all good.
No, you're good.
Thank you so much. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you. This is Miss Patterson. She got a lot of information. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's great. That's really good.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, before y'all jump off, we do have a few more things. Daniel, you're welcome to stay or leave if you need to, but we do have a few more things for you, the rest of you all. So please don't start hanging up just yet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to finish up our end service. So let me go ahead and
Miss McAfee, while we get the slides back up, I see your hand is raised. Did you have a question? You're muted. Miss McAfee, we can't hear you. You're muted. There you go.
Happy birthday to me today.
Yes.
I'm 73 years old.
Yes, we said it earlier.
Are you driving?
I'm 73 young.
Are you driving? You are driving.
Pull over.
McAfee.
All right, ladies. That was a nice presentation.
I'm glad you liked it.
We need you to pull over just for like 10 more minutes while the meeting finishes.
Yeah. We just talked about driving.
I know it.
We're going to take her keys, y'all.
Yeah, we're
keeping her keys.
Please don't. Please don't.
Whose keys y'all going to take?
Miss Anderson, what'd you say?
I said, whose keys y'all gonna take?
Miss McAfee, she's driving while talking to us on this Zoom. We can see y'all.
Oh my gracious.
All right, we only have a few more minutes left, so let me go ahead and finish our presentation here. All right, so we did the video. So meal delivery. We are currently working with an organization that we may be able to deliver meals. And basically what we're going to look for is anybody that's interested in doing this. If you are, please contact me so that we have kind of an idea of how many people are interested in participating in delivering meals. Melanie, do you want to add anything to that?
Sure. So one of the things we want you all to start thinking about is that the temporary pay allowance we've been paying you all since March of last year is scheduled to end in September. And I know I've been on here and I've said this before multiple times, and then we get an approval to keep paying you all, but I really am not confident that after September that we will be able to continue paying you all the temporary allowance. And so I say that because I want you all to start thinking about what a return to service looks like for you. For those who are comfortable going back into homes, there's some that may be uncomfortable still at, by the time September gets here, those, especially if you've decided not to be vaccinated, which is completely your choice. But we want you all to start thinking about that, because over the next couple of months, you're going to be hearing from us more about returning to service. So you can continue making phone calls, but after September, you will only be paid for the amount of time that you're making phone calls. And to be quite honest with you all, you all can make calls throughout the whole month and still only end up with 12 total hours. That's not a lot. That's going to affect your stipend check. And come October, we're only going to be able to pay you for the actual service that you've done. So if you are comfortable going back into homes, I want you all to start thinking about what a schedule could look like for you. What are some of your concerns or questions? And so all of that, I'm saying to get to the meal delivery part. We are exploring opportunities for people who may not be comfortable going back into homes in October, but they still want to serve and earn more hours than they can get making phone calls. And so we're trying to partner with organizations to offer you all the opportunity to deliver meals. And this will be contactless. So it's picking up meals and dropping them off. It's not asking you to sit with anybody for any extended amount of time. But this is another way that we're looking at providing you all a service activity or opportunity once this temporary allowance comes to an end, because we recognize that there's a lot for you all to consider. So if it sounds like something that you would be interested in, even if you are going into your client's home, but you still would like to deliver food to somebody else, that's an option. If you're not comfortable going into someone's home, but you still want to serve and you are interested in doing this, we want you all to let us know. So as we talk to partners, we can have a good idea of how many of our volunteers will be willing to participate in this activity. And then we can share with them the areas that we are able to cover. So that will help us out a lot. Okay, any questions?
And adding to that, you have the choice of doing it monthly, twice a month, or 3 times a month. So you don't have to do it like every day as well. You can do it every day. You'll have a different route, but just letting you know you have your options. So don't feel like you're locked into one and that's it.
Ms. Kelly?
Are you finding clients for people who have lost their clients?
Yes, we are looking into clients for everyone actually, but specifically right now, just so you all know, we don't have approval from our board and our leadership to give the green light for anyone who's unvaccinated to go into homes. So right now, we're only focused on those who are vaccinated, finding them clients and matching them with clients. Once we get approval from our leadership team and the board, we'll look into everyone, but right now we don't have that approval.
Melody.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Miss Anderson. I have my client has her vaccination, both of them, and I'm ready to go back into home.
Got it. I will follow up with you, Miss Anderson, separately.
All right.
And then also too, if we do go back, just FYI, if it's either or, it's either going to be you're going back inside homes to serve, or you're getting temporary allowance. You won't be getting both pays. So just wanting to make that clear.
And to clarify, that's for those who go back now
Now.
through September. After September, no one will be paid the temporary allowance. No one will be paid temporary allowance after September as it stands right now. So if you're not in homes, making phone calls or delivering meals, you won't receive a stipend after September unless you come to training.
Okay, I didn't quite understand what Miss Melissa said.
Melissa was saying, for those of you who have returned to homes, your pay is based off of the hours that you are serving in the homes. You won't receive that and the temporary allowance.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I still haven't gotten my timesheet yet.
I'd like to ask you a question. Ms. Patterson was working in the center. Will the center reopen?
Great question. The center, as of yesterday, is scheduled to open October 1st. So that would it'll take us, if they're opening October 1st, we won't be able to have everybody back in and serving on October 1st, but they are planning to open October 1st. So then we will be working with them to, make sure that there's still people that we could match those of you all who were serving in the centers with. So it'll happen sometime in October. But yes, they're scheduled to open back October 1.
October 1st.
After the 1st or what?
October.
And also, I didn't get my check on the 15th.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Patterson. So I'm in the office today, so I'm going to check on that and I'll follow back up with you after this call, okay?
Okay, thank you.
What?
Well, I just wanted to say also, for those of you that have clients that you were seeing at the center, if you're talking to them on the phone, you can try to see what their thoughts are. Do they think that they'll be able to return to the center? And if they say no, we need to know that so that we can make other arrangements and see if we can have you guys still see them a different way through a different program. And did everybody understand what I just said?
I did not.
So for those who were matched with someone at a senior center, what Constance is saying is if you are still talking to them, if you've been calling them throughout the pandemic, please ask them if they plan to return to the senior center. Because if you plan to go back to the senior center and they do too in October, then we can continue to keep you all matched. If they don't plan on returning to the senior center in October, we need to know that so that we can make arrangements to find you another client at the center or just find you another client in general, whether you're serving in someone's home or at the center. We need to know if your client plans to return to the center in October.
Because it may be possible that you could see them at their home, if that's a possibility. So we need to know that they're not planning on returning.
What center are you speaking of? And are there several in the area?
There are several, and so there were multiple volunteers who before the pandemic were already serving in the senior centers. Yeah. So these comments were directed specifically at them. But to answer your question, yes, there are multiple senior centers throughout Dallas County that volunteers can serve at. Any other questions?
Is there a center in Irving?
Can I speak with you afterwards?
So Ms. Kelly, there is a center in Irving. It is not through Dallas County, so we do not have an agreement with that center. So that's not it's not to say you could not serve at that center. It's just that we don't have an agreement for them to refer clients to us through that center.
Oh. Okay.
Shirley Jones, I see you have your hand raised and you're muted. So I need you to unmute your line so we can hear you. Tap your phone and then tap the microphone. If you tap your screen, there should be a little icon with the line through it. It looks like a microphone.
Got it. Okay, there we go.
Oh, wait, Miss Pipkins, Miss Jones was, well, I think she may have hung up. Maybe.
She hung up.
No,
she's
she's
still
still
on.
talking, but we can't hear her. She's muted.
Let me ask her to unmute.
Yeah, I keep trying. It's not letting her. Okay, Miss Jones, I'll call you at the end of this call, okay? Okay, Miss Pipkins, go ahead. Uh-oh, it's not.
Okay, I have a question.
There it is.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I got a situation. Ms. Coleman has checked herself into a facility. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh, I can hear you.
Okay, so I've been talking to her. I visited her a few times. She's got a little while yet, and she's trying to get back home.
Okay.
And she ain't letting go of me. So, what do I do? Do I move on to somebody else?
Oh, well, I can't hear.
No, she, so you could continue calling her, especially
I talk to
now.
her every day.
Now through September, you're fine to keep calling her. And so just keep us updated. Hopefully she's able to return home. And when she returns home, we could work on getting you back there.
Okay, because I just needed to know what to do. You know, I've been visiting her. I've talked to her. I try not to stay long. You know what I'm saying?
Something happened. I don't know what happened.
But I just need to have that cleared.
Got it.
And I
Yes,
talked
ma'am.
I talked to Mr. Mack too on a regular.
Good. Yes. Keep talking to them and keep writing down the time that you're talking to them. That's still counting right now. And then after September, hopefully we'll be able to send you back to seeing Miss Coleman.
Okay, well, that gives me peace of mind because I don't want. She keep asking. She wants to know. She said they're not going to take you away.
I don't know what happened.
You know, so I said I need to talk to somebody. So I'm glad
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
at this meeting right now.
Good, good.
Okay.
Miss Rita Kelly, I see your hands raised. Will you unmute yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Rita Kelly, Miss Kelly. Can you unmute yourself, Miss Kelly?
Where is she?
No, I think she's
Still
having
on
problems
here, but she
unmuting.
just- Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Kelly, we may have to give you a call after the meeting to get your question answered. Miss Jones, were you ever able to unmute? Okay, I'll call you when the meeting's over.
I've got a question. I need to get-
Yes, Miss Jackson.
Can I speak with you after everybody leaves?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Pipkins,
I have
go
a
ahead.
question.
Go
I
ahead, Miss
have-
Pipkins.
I just got this letter from you all about a Visa card to send our check to.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever monies that are being sent to us once a month. So
Yes.
if we agree to that, it'll be put on the credit card. I don't want it in my checking account.
Right. So again, I want to, before I answer that, just want to make sure those of you who all get direct deposit, this does not apply to you. So you can plug your ears, you can mute me. You don't have to listen to this if you already get direct deposit. What I'm about to say is only for people who were still receiving checks, okay?
Only.
Okay.
Only.
So to answer your question, Ms. Pipkins, it will not go to your checking account. The money would be deposited onto that prepaid card that you would, every month, your stipend would be deposited onto that card. Pretty much just like the direct deposit. So you would not have to worry about the delay in getting your check in the mail. You would not have to worry about your check getting lost in the mail. Your money would be there and you could use it just like you would any debit card. Anywhere where Visa is accepted, you are able to use that card. You could also go to the ATM and pull money out, and there's no fees at, I'm looking at the flyer.
I saw, what was that, something about $4 a month? What is that about?
There is a $4 monthly fee for the card to have access and use that card. So that will be taken out every month, $4. So I don't know if you all if you have a checking account, then you're probably cashing your check for free. But those who don't have checking accounts are paying a check cashing fee somewhere that's probably more than $4. But we did some research, and this was the card that had the least amount of fees that we could offer. And one of our other programs here uses these cards for their clients and have had a great experience. So we wanted to present this as an option to those of you all who are still getting checks in the mail. And so what I plan to do for those of you all who are getting paper checks and who are considering this card, what I will do is, if you're interested or have more questions and want to discuss it more, I will set up a time where we can all join together and talk specifically about the card. Because what I don't want to do is go into a whole lot of details here on this call when it doesn't apply to everybody. So I would love to speak with just those of you who are interested so I can answer any additional questions that you all have.
Well, let me know when.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
Ms. Haynes, would you be interested in joining that discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking this applies to Miss Patterson as well.
It would, yes. So I'll mark her down as well, Miss Betty. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And so you will let us know when you all are going to, because she hasn't gotten her check.
Right. So I will follow back up with those who this applies to, and we'll set a time and a date for us to jump on a call, and I can answer more questions directly about it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Melanie, I have a question. Melanie,
yes, go ahead.
I have a question. Am I missing some mail or something from you all? Because Constance said that, asked me if I received a letter or something asking if I had COVID shot or something. Did y'all send out some letters or something?
Oh, Miss Mabry. No, I was referring to when we first talked to you guys about that question about the vaccine. So no, you're good.
I was just wondering if I had missed some mail, because I have missed some.
Make sure y'all are checking your mailboxes, because the newsletter does come out every other week. And make sure you're checking your mailboxes on that, because I think I've received 1 or 2 back. Just want to let y'all know that. Just make sure you're checking those mailboxes.
Yeah, well, I don't get my mail on time. I don't know what's wrong with the people over here, but sometimes it's way, way, way late. After everybody's gotten theirs, I get mine. It's like that, but that's why I was asking.
All righty.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to turn it over to Constance now. Constance.
Okay. All right. We just wanted to talk to you guys, just do a brief overview of the newsletter. This was the newsletter that you guys will be receiving in the mail shortly for August, one of the ones for August. So sometimes we get calls, you guys ask us questions, And the questions you asked, we have some of them we've already sent the information to you in the newsletter. So we just want to make sure that you guys are reading the newsletter, looking at it when you receive it, because we do give you credit for reading this newsletter as a part of your training. So make sure you guys are checking it out. And if you need to, like, listen, the first page was just what, birthdays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't understand what she's saying.
You can't hear me? I mean,
it's like you chewing it up or something. I don't understand.
Okay, well, let me try to get clearer. I'm on this headset, so I'm hoping you guys will hear me better. One of the things in the newsletter, let's go ahead and go to the second page, is the SCP training corner. And in that area, you'll get information about in-service, Zoom training, all that information is there. All the links for the phone call, for the Zoom, all that information is in that section. So make sure that if you need to.
Sorry. Let me get that. I don't know what happened. Go ahead.
If you don't keep your newsletter, make sure that you at least maybe cut out that section, put it on your refrigerator. So when it's time for the in-service meetings, you'll have the links for the Zoom. Everybody understand what I'm saying there? Because sometimes we get calls saying, I don't know how to get on the Zoom. So all that information is given to you in the newsletter. So if you need to maybe keep that page and put it on your refrigerator or whatever as a reminder for you.
I have a question. When you all play bingo, where do you get the cards from? I don't have no bingo card.
If you want bingo cards, let us know. We will try to get. Well, we can't mail them to you. You may have to come pick them up at the office.
Oh, that's too hard to drive.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're on card stocks. They can't be folded well enough for us to mail them to you. But we will have some in the office for anyone who wants to come by and pick them up.
What about, Constance, what about send them through the email, like copying them and send the cards to the email? Can you do that? No. If you have, you know what I'm saying?
I get that's possible. Maybe.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. We might be able to copy the ones that we have because they have a certain code on them.
Right.
From Dallas County, but we may be able to copy the ones that we have and send you a paper version of it in the mail.
I have a suggestion on one of those pages for that newsletter. Make it be blank where you can make the bingo on each side of one of those sheets in the newsletter.
Well, these cards come from Dallas County and they have an ID card on them. So that they know who won. So we can't just give you all a blank one, but we may be able to make a copy of it and send it with your newsletter. We may be able to do that.
I have a question.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Because I want to play bingo, but I can't play if I don't have no bingo stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Ms. Kelly.
Go ahead, Ms. Kelly.
On this sheet that you're showing, it needs to come down some because the top of it I'm seeing is Thursday, July 22nd, which is today, right?
Yeah, but it says August. Yep.
Yeah. August.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good catch, Ms.
Good
Kelly.
catch, because all three of us
catch.
didn't see that.
Yep.
Good catch.
I know y'all say I talk a lot, but
we'll appreciate that catch.
If there's something wrong with me, am I seeing right?
Okay, so like I said,
It's always the same as well. The phone number and the Zoom account is always different. The only thing that changes is the YouTube. So Zoom is always the same. Telephone number is always the same. Difference is YouTube.
Just that date is not right.
Yep,
Okay,
fixing it
we'll
now.
fix that.
I'm gonna skip that so they can read that.
Okay, so this is where the Sunshine Committee will put information, right?
Here in the Metroplex.
Okay, so this will, like the Sunshine Committee will start contributing to the newsletter. I'm assuming that that's what this page is for. Okay, you can go ahead and pass that one. Listen. We just wanted just to hit a couple of the highlights. Sometimes we get calls asking about something that was put in the newsletter, some training, or
well, can we pause here, Constance? Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to pause here because these are some flyers. So this will let you know this the screen you see now. You all will get this in the mail. It hasn't been mailed out yet, which is why we're going to change that August to, the dates. But this will tell you what the next in-service is going to be about. So the next in-service on August 12th, we're going to be talking about the Genius Scan app. I know Amy, who came to talk to us a couple of months ago about technology and apps, she will be joining us again on August 12th to walk us through the scanning app that you could put on your phone. So we want you all to pay attention to, again, make sure you read your newsletters because this is letting you know what's coming up.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
What was the one before that? Go back.
Oh, that was the Sunshine Committee. It was just talking about the month. Every month we do something.
Okay. All right.
So every month talks about what kind of wellness or what celebration of that month is. So you will see one of those every month.
All right. All right, go ahead.
And so that's Genius Scan app. And then we'll have Miss Ava coming in talking about nutrition and physical health, wealth, and wellness as well. And those that do the exercises that we have on Facebook, she's the instructor. So some of you may be familiar with her already.
The main reason why we were doing this for me was that I wanted to make sure that if you guys sign up for anything that's here that's not from the senior source, you will need to contact that organization and not the senior source if you have questions. That it will usually have an email address, a phone number, and they'll be the ones that will be giving you the information. You might want to save the date so that you don't forget. Because a lot of times I look at the email and I may not look at it again for a week or two or whatever, and I may get a call from you guys. So I have to go back and pull it up to find out what, to try to get the answer to your question. But my point is that the answer is usually going to be in the newsletter regarding that event. Okay. Next one.
Games.
Games, and Melissa will have all the answers to the games. And I think she's putting them in the news. So if you got a puzzle or something in this newsletter, will the answer be in this one or the next one?
The next one.
It'll be in the next one. Okay. Great, because don't call me for the answers. It'll be in it'll be in the next newsletter.
Here are the reminders.
Awesome. This is Lillian. Can I go ahead and log out? Is it okay? I'll come over to the store. Is it all right if I go ahead and log out?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Miss Henry. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Had a wonderful, it was a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Okay, and then there's a spot on here about reminders. Timesheets. This one is talking about timesheets to be due by the 5th. You guys, please make sure you get them in, Melissa, by that date. We talked about meal delivery. If you're interested, contact Melissa. If you do receive the COVID-19 vaccination, please inform SCP staff. And again, a reminder that temporary allowance
So we're getting some background, so I'm just gonna repeat that for some folks. Can you mute really quickly though?
Sure.
So timesheets are due by the 5th of every month, and I need everybody, even if you aren't calling anyone or visiting anyone. I'm not sure where that music is coming from. Okay, it stopped. I need everyone to mail in a timesheet, even if you don't have a client, even if you don't have anything to write on that timesheet. Mail us a blank one that you have signed, okay? And if you can mail it to us by the 5th, to get it here by the 5th, we would appreciate that, of every month, okay? If you are interested in meal delivery, contact Melissa. And as you can see, there's also a space where Melissa's information, her direct contact number is right there. All of ours are listed. So this is also another page you might want to keep so that you have our direct phone numbers and the fax number and our email address, okay? If you do not receive the COVID-19 vaccination, please inform SCP staff. And a reminder that temporary allowance ends in September, okay?
And one thing is if you do receive the COVID-19 vaccine.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, if you do. Sorry, thank you. All righty.
All right, I think that's it. That's all I had. And Melanie, and now I turn it over to you.
All righty. I'm gonna go quickly. I know, thank y'all for thinking about me and asking about, I don't know, I'm still getting feedback. Do y'all hear that? Okay, it stopped.
It's still coming out.
There we go. About my trip to Morocco. So those of you all who are on Zoom, you'll get to see some pictures of my trip, of my vacation. Those of you who are on the phone, we will send out the link to this recording on YouTube. So you'll have to go back and look at it later. But I'm going to share some pictures with you all from my trip.
Wonderful.
All right, tell me what y'all see.
Melanie Calhoun has started share screening.
Do y'all see a picture with a whole bunch of people in blue?
Oh, we don't see anything yet, Melanie.
Oh, okay. It says, oh, what about now?
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
All righty. So,
okay, yeah.
Here is a picture of me and 50 of my family members in Morocco. And as you can see, the yellow arrow is pointing to me in that crowd of people. So 3 continents, 17 hours, 51 humans for 13 days.
Wow.
So my family takes an annual trip every year, but this is the first time this many of us have gone in a while. So on the left here is the villa that we stayed at for the 13 days. That's the pool that we spent the majority of our time in. And we visited Marrakech. That's the city we went to in Morocco, which is the 4th largest city in Morocco. And it's nicknamed the Red City. So the colors of the building are throughout the entire city are this like coral, almost pink. So everywhere you go, the entire country, all the buildings are that color. So in ancient times, the buildings were built from red sandstone. And so now they build things and then they painted this color, but throughout history has been known as the Red City because of the red dirt that all of the buildings used to be, the clay actually that they used to be made out of, but now everything is this color. So you don't have any skyscrapers, but everything throughout the city is this coral color. Up here at the top, you probably can't see it that great, but this is called a tangine, and this is a traditional Moroccan way of cooking. And it's a meal that's cooked in these clay pots set over coal that's heated, and they slow cook the food. And it's amazing. I'll show you some pictures of food in a little bit. So we visited a palace and the market. We went to one of the major tourist attractions called Bahia Palace. It is where It used to be the residence of one of their prime ministers many, many years ago. Beautiful, beautiful location there. This guy on the right was our tour guide, Abdul, standing and telling us the history of Bahia Palace. And then here I am getting on a camel. That's me leading the pack on the camel. So we all rode camels together, all 50 something of us, which was an amazing experience. Something I'll never forget, to have that experience with my family. So a couple of things, we call them camels, but they only have one hump. And I learned that they are actually called dromedars. I remember that because I started calling them commodores. But they are actually called dromedars, and there's only one place in the world where two hump camels exist, and that is in Asia. But they are part of the camel family. Other thing that I learned is that when you're riding camels like this, all of these are female camels because they are easy to train. So you can't really see them. Maybe right here in this picture, I don't know if you all can see my mouse moving, but these are the baby camels. So the camel I'm on right here, her name is Sabrina, and most of these camels had, I don't know what baby camels are called, kids maybe, I have to Google that, but they all had baby camels who were walking right alongside their mothers, who would not leave their mother's side as long as along the trail that we rode. So that was pretty cool. And then we all rode dirt bikes in the desert together, which was a lot of fun. So imagine 50 folks on dirt bikes in the middle of the desert.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
And then after that, we saw goats and trees. So this is an actual picture that I took. These are goats that climb up in the tree. This is an argan tree. I don't know if you all have heard of argan oil, but the argan.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
The argan berries grow on these trees, and the goats climb up in them on the branches to eat the fruit. So that's what those goats were doing. We were interrupting their lunch. They were up there eating the argan fruit. And from that argan fruit, they make the argan oil that's become so popular in beauty and cosmetics. But they also, inside the argan fruit is an almond. So they take the almond and they make almond butter and all the good almond things that we love. So that was an interesting sight to see. And then the food, which was amazing and so fresh and so good. And I don't have a picture here for you all, but I had the most amazing watermelon I have ever had in my life in Morocco. I don't even eat watermelon here in the States just because it's rarely ever delicious. It's rarely ever sweet or good to me. But every single piece of watermelon I ate in Morocco, and I ate it every day, was simply amazing. So and it had seeds. I was like, I don't remember the last time I've had a watermelon with seeds in America. So I felt like
you can't find one.
You can't find them, right? So I really felt like I was missing out coming back here because I was like, the food was so fresh and just amazing.
And what kind of fish is that?
I think it was trout. I'm not sure. It was really good though. And I would tell you that I am someone who normally would be like, oh, please don't bring me a whole fish and expect me to eat it. But when I tell you that fish was amazing, we actually ate that. And I'll show you a picture in a second, but we went to the coast. And so it was very fresh. So Marrakech is inland. It's not near the coast, but we took a day trip out to the beach.
Did you bring the seeds back?
Did I bring what back?
The watermelon seeds.
Oh, I did not. No, I did not. But I don't know if customs would have been okay with that. So, but this is us walking through the city of Essaouira, which is about 3 hours away from Marrakech, and it is on the coast of Morocco. And so that's me at the beach. We went to the beach. Now, I did not get in the water because it was pretty cold at the beach. But it was beautiful. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. This is a picture in the main square in Marrakech. I can't remember the name of this mosque here, but it's a pretty popular mosque. And every day, 5 times a day, you can hear the call to prayer happen throughout the city. Wherever you are, you will hear the call to prayer 5 times a day. And so as we were here, it actually happened. And I don't know if you all can see, but up top, there is some gold balls. And then to the left of that, there is what looks like a gallows. It is not a gallows. It is a post, but it is pointing towards the east, toward Mecca. So if you are in the city and you don't, whenever they pray towards Mecca. And so that post is a guide to let you know what direction to pray towards. And then I caught this beautiful picture at sunset of the sun setting behind the mosque. And then we also traveled through mountains, which I thought was pretty cool. It was a little scary because they were taking those curves around the mountains pretty quick for me. So I had to close my eyes and tell me when we get there. But it was, beautiful, beautiful country. And we drove through the mountains to reach this beautiful waterfall.
Oh, that is beautiful.
It's called Ouzoud Falls. It's a natural waterfall. And we spent, this was probably one of the highlights of my trip being here. So we actually started out up here up top, and then we walked down over 700 stairs to the bottom of the waterfall, and we took a boat ride into the falls. And then, as you can see, some of my loved ones jumped off the cliff into the water.
Is that you?
That is not me. I didn't jump. I did not jump. But it was just a beautiful day. Yes.
Since Miss Patterson can't see the pictures, is it okay that we exit out?
Yes, you sure can.
Okay, and we'll look it up on the.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So no, that's not me. I did not jump, but it was a beautiful day with my family. Just a beautiful trip overall. I will tell you, we struggled though, because I did mention that we walked down over 700 stairs to get down to the bottom. We had to take those 700 stairs back up. So we were pretty tired after that. And what I did not include was along the way, there were monkeys. And I actually got to feed peanuts to monkeys. We all did. And one of the monkeys stole my bag of peanuts.
Took the whole bag.
Took the whole entire bag. So that's it. Those are just a few of the highlights of my trip to Morocco.
Well, it looked like y'all had an exciting time.
We did.
A beautiful country.
Yes,
everything
we did.
I saw was beautiful.
Yeah, it really
was. I've never heard of goats climbing trees.
I hadn't either until going to Morocco, but yep, they do.
Okay. Are you going to be in the office tomorrow?
I will not be in the office tomorrow.
Could you leave me a timesheet at the receptionist desk?
Yes, I just printed it out, so I will go walk it up there for you.
Okay, that's for July.
Yes, July.
Okay. All righty. Thank you, because I need to go now.
Okay. That's it, everybody. You all can log off now. Thanks for indulging me with my pictures of my vacation.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Constance?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you call me after the meeting?
Ms. Anderson?
That's Ms. Haynes.
Ms. Haynes? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, Ms. Haynes.
Meeting, then off the meeting.
Okay, I'll call you.
Okay, thanks.